everyone, welcome back to my channel, Erica Messina. Today's video is going to be a little different. It's not about my weight loss journey or any of my travels. It's about something deeply personal that I've been hesitant to talk about again. Some of you may know that I used to have a YouTube channel and I used to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I used to speak about that part of my life quite openly, and I eventually deleted that channel because I didn't want my YouTube career to revolve around that topic. But today I feel ready to share this story, not from a place of anger, but from a place of honesty. This video is about my relationship with my mom and about the phone call that ultimately led her to cutting me off. Before I say anything else, I want you to hear part of that phone call yourself.
Alam ng lalaki na yan, wala kang respeto sa magulang mo. Dahil kung may respeto ka, hindi ka sasama sa kanya. Alam ng lalaki na yan na hindi ka disenteng tao. Alam ng lalaki yan na hindi ka matino. Hindi ka nahihiya? Kaya ganyan yung mga tao na lose ang moral. Dahil sa totoo lang, Erica, wala kang respeto sa magulang mo. Kung sumisyon ang inaabot ko kayo simula nung nawala ka sa puro maling desisyon ang ginagawa mo. Sa totoo lang, puro maling desisyon. Ito na ang huli natin pag-uusap. Ibablock kita, puputulin ko na ang relasyon natin dalawa, ibablock kita, puputulin ko na ang connecting, ang ties natin dalawa, hindi na ako makikipag-usap sa'yo kahit kailan. Hanggat hindi ka na bumabalik kay Jehovah, hindi na tayo mag-uusap, hindi na tayo magkikita, Erica.
One of the most confusing and painful aspects of that phone call was how my mom tried to impose her beliefs and standards on me, even though I'm no longer part of her religion. She repeatedly used judgmental language, calling me immoral and cheap, framing my decision to stay in the same hotel room as my boyfriend as a moral failing. It didn't feel like a conversation at all. It felt like a lecture, as if my choices could be measured against a rule book that I never agreed to follow. And the harshness of her words and the way she questioned my character left me reeling. It's one thing to have differences in beliefs, but it's another to feel that your worth as a human being is being defined entirely by someone else's religious framework. That disconnect between her teachings and the reality of my adult life made me realize just how conditional her acceptance has become. The phone call also revealed how deeply my mom's desire to control extends beyond her beliefs. Even though I'm 29 years old and I've lived independently and I've made my own decisions for years, she attempted to dictate how I should live, who I should be with, and what choices I am allowed to make. It wasn't just about religion, it was about control. That need to reinforce her standards on everyone around her, including me, is a pattern that has affected how she parents and interacts with family. And by framing my decisions as wrong and immoral, she created a dynamic where compliance is more important than genuine connection. What was meant to be a loving conversation ended up feeling manipulative and conditional, as if love itself equates to obedience. There was another layer of discomfort that made that call even more painful. When I mentioned the man I'm dating and that he is of this race, my mom let out a noticeable sigh, like a clear disapproval. And that reaction made me feel weird. There's like a prejudice that went beyond religion there. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't normal, and experiencing that from a parent is especially hard because it mixes personal hurt with a larger systematic issue. And it forced me to recognize that acceptance and unconditional love were not always there, even in family, and that bias can sometimes live alongside deeply held religious convictions. This just made me understand that I need to be firm with my own values and choosing my relationships. And it's okay if I can't meet their expectations. After going through this experience, I've had a lot of time to reflect on what it all means to be, and I want to be very clear. I'm sharing this not to attack anyone or to say that every person who are a Jehovah's Witness will act this way. I understand that experiences can be very different for each individual and that many people find comfort, community, and meaning in their faith. But from my perspective, based on my experience with my own mother, this situation highlighted some serious issues that I've personally struggled with in this religion. The strict rules, the judgment of personal choices, the conditional love, and the way family relationships can be affected by obedience to belief all make it feel like a system that prioritizes control over genuine care. And for me, that's a clear sign that it's not the right religion for me. I've realized that true spirituality, in my view, should not require fear, shame, or losing the people you love over decisions that are personal, ethical, and reasonable. This is why I've chosen to live outside of it and why I feel confident following my own path. I've learned that beliefs can deeply influence relationships for better or for worse, and that understanding, empathy, and autonomy are what I need in my life. I hope that by sharing this, it can offer some perspective to anyone out there who has felt judged or limited by the religious beliefs of someone close to them. At the end of the day, this is my experience, my truth, and my journey. And I hope it encourages you to reflect on your own values, your own boundaries, and the kind of love and acceptance you deserve, whether inside or outside of religion. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for holding space for my story. I'll see you in the next one.